where I would have played with a detached left hand. But in fact, only the last measure is detached. So Mozart was already interested in slurs, even in this context, such as this. So really it should be. Notice in the last measure there, measure 4, it's not slurred. It's not. I think there's a couple reasons for that. One is the octave jump. Being a sonic jump of an octave, but also it's a physical jump of an octave. And if you imagine Mozart being less than 8 years old, it's very possible that his hand was not quite an octave yet. I don't know that. It's possible it was. I just have known other 7-year-olds who have only a 6th or a 7th with their hand. And so it might have, it's fair to surmise, to guess that it was probably a stretch for him at least. But in any case, if you look at how we play that, it also helps us to play it well. Instead of stretching like this, we can play it, lift and drop, and move the whole hand, just like we could if we were playing a 2-octave jump. We could play. We wouldn't try to reach for a 2-octave jump that we can't possibly reach by twisting our hand or stretching it or curling it up, right? So we would play. And so if we practice an octave, it also happens, I should say it also helps us to be able to do it this way as well. So there is your left hand, it's slurring. When we go on in the left hand, we have what I consider a slow vibrato motion. What I mean by that is a very slow knocking motion. It's not as fast as going like this, but it is similar. We can kind of think of going gently forward. It's a very slow movement in comparison. If we have 2, 2, 3, coming forward, slur, release, and all of these can be released too. These are not, you can play them portato or non legato like that. In the right hand in measure 1, we have the slurs. So there you have 3, 1, 2, 3, 2 is my suggestion. Could you play 2, 3, 3? Yes, you could. I suggest, though, that try this fingering where you release it and notice that the rest of the hand, it's already a little bit awkward for the third finger when you play black to white because the third finger is longer and it's easy to start to pull it back like this. So we often hear this played like this, or more like that. So you see that's very confined, and that's using the fingers in a way that's like typing without any support from your arm at all. Really, it's with your whole body. When we look instead at that, we see that before the first note is played, we can lift and drop and land into it lightly, right? And if we play, whether you play with the thumb right at the beginning or you play my fingering and play 2, switch to 1, then again we lift and go down, up, down, rebound. Lift, down, release, or either fingering, and then down, up, down, rebound. So there's a nice sequence there, meaning the intervals are extremely similar. Starting on C, now we start the figure again on D. It continues. So let's look at that figure in measure 5. It goes. So this one, instead of thinking of it being like under with a lot of motion, we can actually think of it more like as though the notes were, or even on white keys we could go, right? It's the same feeling, but now we're going to change the intervals and have the same overall feeling of this. Notice that it's basically one under or swooping kind of gesture. We're going in a counterclockwise motion here with our wrist. And we come up with a 2-note slur here. And notice I've suggested another possibility for fingerings. And finally we come over with this scalar figure that takes us to the end.